Support for this podcast comes from the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative, connecting communities with the resources, infrastructure, and networks to ensure a vibrant local free press. And from KVPR's annual wine tasting Sunday, May 4th, featuring fine wines from California and beyond, local craft beer, delicious food, live music, and a silent auction. All proceeds benefit KVPR. Purchase your tickets today at kvpr.org/wine.
From KVPR in Fresno, this is Central Valley Daily. It's Monday, April 28th. I'm Elizabeth Arkalian. Fresno Unified School District is the third largest school district in the state, behind Los Angeles and San Diego. The district serves roughly 70,000 students, but for the last year has lacked a permanent leader. That is, until now. Interim Superintendent Misty Her is permanently taking the helm as Fresno Unified's first woman superintendent. She's also the first person of Hmong heritage to take the position. She's helped guide the district through uncertain territory over the last year in her interim position, but that's not prevented her from gaining her fair share of detractors. Finding a new superintendent has felt like nothing short of an existential crisis for Fresno Unified. Debate swirled over whether an outside candidate might bring a new perspective and ideas for how to boost the district's lagging test scores. Inside, the Board of Trustees chose Misty Her for the job, undoubtedly relying on her 30-plus years of experience in the district. To break down this new chapter for Fresno Unified and hear more about Superintendent Her's appointment, we brought Esther Quintanilla to the KVPR studios. She's an education reporter for the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative. Esther starts by giving some background on Fresno Unified's superintendent search.
So Bob Nelson, who is the former superintendent, stepped down sometime last year, and almost immediately Misty Her was announced as the interim superintendent. When she was announced that she was going to be taking on this leadership, a lot of people were raising questions about how the district was going to go about searching. A lot of people had a lot of concerns of how progress within the district was being measured and how they were going to continue growing. And initially, the board wanted to do an internal hire for the superintendent to take over. But after some major backlash from the community and from the Fresno Teachers Association and lots of parents, the district decided to open up to candidates from all over the country instead of just looking at those internal candidates. And the board poured hundreds of thousands of dollars into a headhunter firm to search for the best candidate for the position. And that's really how we got here today.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a saga that has gone on for a long time. And you were actually there as the vote was announced by the Fresno Unified Board of Trustees. They were revealing their choice for a permanent leader. Tell us what the reaction was when they announced Misty Her.
Yeah, a lot of people were really excited. I think over the last couple of weeks, people knew that this announcement was coming and they knew where it was going to be heading. But even so, people were just ecstatic to be there. Members of Misty Her's family were sitting in the front row of the boardroom. There was lots of her former students in the crowd as well, holding signs. So people were very excited. Before the official announcement from the board, Misty Her was even in the crowd taking pictures with members of the community, taking pictures with her family. Lots of people were going up and giving her hugs and congratulations. And her former students, like I said, were there and they were holding signs that said, "We love Misty. Misty did it." Some of them read certain phrases in Hmong. So as soon as the announcement came, the room erupted in cheers.
The board took action in closed session to select Mao Misty Her as the district superintendent.
Okay, now I understand that the search process has been pretty contentious, and Her has been no stranger to this process. How has she managed to continue being considered as the leader of the district amid this year-long debate?
Yeah, I think contentious is a bit of an understatement. Anyone in Fresno can tell you that this has been kind of a long time coming from the start. A lot of people, like I mentioned, were very skeptical of Misty Her's qualifications. She served as deputy superintendent under Bob Nelson and has worked with Fresno Unified for over 30 years. So she's very familiar with the problems that the district faces. Generally, I think a lot of the questions toward Her's leadership were warranted and possibly even welcomed by her. When asked by reporters previously about the process, she seemed to be really confident in her own abilities of what she could bring to the district and, how she could fill in the gaps. and take the district even further. But even so, Her has faced a lot of tough situations as well. During her speech last week, she spoke about how she and her family have faced a lot of harassment and even racist comments since last year, becoming kind of a notable figure in the community.
Yeah, even when she was appointed as an interim superintendent, she certainly received a lot of feedback about that. Now, her becoming the permanent superintendent could be seen as symbolic in some ways. She's the first woman to become superintendent of Fresno Unified. She's also the first woman of Hmong descent to lead the district. Can you tell us why that's significant?
Yeah, it definitely marks a historical moment for the district. Like you said, Her is the first woman. She's also the first Asian American to take on leadership in the district, and that's since the board's inception in 1873, so it's been a long time coming. The board now looks very different from what it did back in those days. Most of the trustees now are women of color, and a lot of the community say that this particular board really reflects the wants and needs of their students. As for the Hmong community in Fresno, this is really a moment of breaking the glass ceiling, so to speak. I spoke with Vang Pao Elementary School's principal, Yua Lee, who said the hiring was really momentous for her.
I'm ecstatic. I'm very happy that Misty is not only the first woman, but the first Hmong woman to be the superintendent of Fresno Unified, and she represents the community and what we do in Fresno Unified for all of our kids.
I should mention, Esther, that Fresno Unified is the third largest school district in the state. I know folks in Fresno know that, but for other Valley residents who might not know, this is a really big district. It's a really important district. So how does it compare when it comes to test scores and learning? Are those issues this new superintendent will have to get to work on right away?
Yeah, Fresno Unified has been largely lagging behind other districts in the state for years in reading and mathematics. And this really became the talking point of why people wanted someone outside the district to step in. So when Her took on the interim role last year, she set out a really ambitious 100-day plan to raise up test scores and progress by the double digits. Though the district hasn't quite reached that marker yet, it has made some improvements over the last year. Misty Her is very aware of the issues that the district is facing, and during her speech, she said that she's ready to take them on.
We are not waiting for change to happen. We are leading it, and I am proud to be the leader at the helm of this critical work.
Does it seem like Misty Her has a lot of support from the Board of Trustees?
Yeah, she was a really popular choice from the board. I think from the get-go, people were expecting the board to hire her on as the initial superintendent. And throughout the last year, a lot of the trustees have spoken out in support and in defense of her capabilities as speculation has come up. Throughout her speech last week to the community, Board President Valerie Dravis, trustees Beba Islas, Claudia Cazares, and Keisha Thomas were all wiping away tears and offering very sincere comments to Misty and speaking directly to the community of how they really believed in her mission and her goals. So there was a lot of appreciation and a lot of gratitude toward the leadership that Her has provided over the last year. And even in the final vote, almost everyone voted yes. The only dissenting vote was from trustee Susan Wittrup, who kind of led the effort to open up applications to candidates from all over the country.
Esther, we'll leave it there, but do you have anything else to add about covering this development at Fresno Unified?
I think over the next few weeks, we'll kind of see more of Misty Her's plans to make more progress for Fresno Unified. A lot of parents are really wanting to see immediate results in their students' test scores and their reading, and a lot of that stuff will take time. I think Misty Her is very open to those conversations, and she seems very confident that she'll be able to provide a lot of security and a lot of progress for the district. She'll have her agenda published when she's sworn in on Wednesday, so I guess we'll see more details as they begin to roll out.
Esther Quintanilla, education reporter for the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative. Always nice to have you back in the studio, Esther.
Yeah, it's always nice to be here.
And that's today's show. A reminder, you can always find the day's local and national headlines on your radio. They air at the top and bottom of the hour. Just tune to 89.3 FM in Fresno, 89.1 in Bakersfield, or tell your smart speaker to play KVPR. Today's episode was produced by Jonathan Linden and KVPR with support from the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative. I'm Elizabeth Arkalian. Find the latest local news anytime at kvpr.org.
This is Tanya Mosley, co-host of Fresh Air. You'll see your favorite actors, directors, and comedians on late-night TV shows or YouTube. But what you get with Fresh Air is a deep dive. Spend some quality time with people like Billie Eilish, Questlove, Ariana Grande, Stephen Colbert, and so many more. We ask questions you won't hear asked anywhere else. Listen to the Fresh Air podcast from NPR and WHYY.